Sports Limelight, Episode 2. Hello, Drew.
Slap on the bass, Bill.
Yes, sir. How's it going, man? How was your week?
It was great, yeah. Worked, made some money, watched some football.
You're a working man.
Yes, I am.
It was a pretty exciting week in the NFL, like it always is. Week
Yep.
10. Or was it week 9 that just happened?
I think week 10.
Week 10,
Week 10.
okay. I second-guessed myself because of the bye weeks.
The bye
you know,
week's always, yeah.
By this time of year, you need
It's
to
like
add
daylight
one.
savings time. You never know if
Yes.
it's 2 or 3 o'clock.
Are we 2 hours behind the East Coast now? I know people who you either get it or you don't with daylight saving.
Right.
No matter how many times you explain it to someone, if they don't have it the first time, they're kind of never going to.
Right. And I wonder how many people had their TV set for 10 a.m. on Sunday watching the football, and all of a sudden, it's
Ooh.
11, you know?
Yeah, you got to wait that extra hour.
Yeah.
Even for Arizona here, a state that doesn't do it, we're still affected by it. We
Mm-hmm.
can't get away. We're going to touch on the NBA lockout just because, number one, we promised it last week.
Right.
And number two, there was some developing news today.
Yes.
So, but we'll lead off with the NFL.
Yeah, we got quite a few huge road wins this week, with first place in each division at stake for those four road games. First off, the Raiders coming into San Diego and beating the Chargers. Now they're in first place in the West.
That was Thursday night.
It
right?
was, yes, the first Thursday night game of this season.
They're starting those early.
They are, yeah. Philip Crimea Rivers, huh? How about that guy?
That could stick. That could work.
Yeah.
What is with him this year?
Yeah,
he
I
just
was
seems
gonna-
to be off.
Well, they started 4-1. I mean, they were, they have the weapons offensively. I just don't think they're meshing as well as they should.
Yeah, obviously not.
He seems like he feels like the older kid in the school, and he's playing with a bunch of sixth graders. That's how I feel. He's getting frustrated either at his linemen or his wide receivers.
Yeah. Why aren't you as good as I want you to be?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
trouble for the Chargers. Norv Turner could be on the hot seat. He's been there a long time.
that's true.
Never quite made it over the top. So if you've been a coach of a team that long without a championship,
Right.
you're kind of one bad streak away from getting the
Yeah.
axe, I think. Same with Andy Reid.
Yeah, you're right. They seem to have a decent record each year going into the playoffs, but they just can't seem to finish.
Who are there some other road teams that got the big wins?
Well, let's see here. We got the Saints. They beat the Falcons in Atlanta.
In overtime.
Yeah, in overtime, and they that propelled them to first place over the Falcons. So definitely a huge win there. And we have the Patriots. I think they showed us who they really are and what they could be and should be as a team. Very explosive. Tom Brady coming into the Meadowlands and handling the Jets.
3-touchdown victory, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think back to at the beginning of the season, or before the season, Rex Ryan, one of his many blustery press conferences where he says, I'm looking for someone else to beat the Patriots. Insinuating that we beat them, but no one else can beat them.
Right,
Come
right.
on, step up with us. And the Jets were beaten twice by the Patriots this year.
Foot mouth right there, Rex Ryan. He's
There
a
you
foot
go.
fetish guy, isn't he?
Like the that's what she said jokes.
Right.
The Rex Ryan foot jokes also have staying power.
Yeah, I love those. That's pretty funny. And I think the most crucial one was the Steelers over the Bengals.
You said last week the Bengals are really going to get their test now.
Yep.
We'll see if they're for real.
Yep.
They hung in,
And,
but so far
hey,
your
to
prediction
quote
proven
Dennis
correct.
Green, they were who we thought they were.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yep. I know the Bengals. They really needed to tell the AFC North who they were, and coming in at home with the Steelers, they had a chance to make a statement, but Steelers ultimately had the upper hand there. So.
Yeah, they have 3 more chances this year, 2 against Baltimore, 1 more with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
They could go 0-3 in those, but they have more opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, 2 teams that did not get big road wins, hurting us very much in the process, the Buffalo Bills
Right.
and the New York Giants. What did you see, whatever you were able to see from the Bills-Cowboys game?
Well, Dallas just came out on all cylinders, just demolished the Bills. I knew it was going to happen someday with the Cowboys. I mean, they have the talent to do so, and unfortunately, it was against the Bills. So
It is a shame when a team gets well against
Right.
your team. Couldn't
Yes.
they have done it another week?
right, it was almost like the worst of the Bills against the best of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But as a Giants fan, should you be concerned? of the Cowboys. They're only a game out now.
I'm very concerned about the Cowboys. They have a much easier schedule than the Giants do down the stretch. The Giants have the Eagles next week. The Eagles are 3-6. With the Giants, I'm encouraged that they played a tough team, really close.
On the road. In spite of making just a cornucopia of mental errors. Special teams, they let the 49ers recover an onside kick. They left Vernon Davis uncovered for an easy 21-yard touchdown. Right.
Manningham running the wrong route, leading to Manning's second interception. A third interception was nullified when the defender didn't get both feet in bounds.
Right.
So you can't have those sort of mistakes against a good team. In spite of all that, though, here's the positive thing. They got down to a 3rd and 2 on the 49ers' 10 with a chance to tie it up and send it to overtime. Then after that, it was a draw play for no gain. Terrible call by Gilbride. He seems to love the draws, Kevin Gilbride. And then the 4th down pass batted down. They're now 6-3, and it's one of those games that you're going to wish you had back when you're at the end of the season and you're losing out on a tiebreaker or something and you're missing the playoffs or not winning the division at the very least.
Right, perhaps. I was looking at the stat line. It looks like you guys outplayed them. You got outgained them. First downs, third down efficiency was much better. So
yeah,
I'm not too concerned. If I was a fan, I wouldn't be too concerned with the outcome of the game. Seems like you guys are playing well together. And you also had Ahmad Bradshaw out. So
now Michael Boley is going to be out a few weeks. And believe it or not, Michael Boley is probably their most valuable player on defense just because the linebackers are so depleted and what's left of them are so green already that he makes all the calls defensively. So that's going to really hurt him playing the youngsters, Greg Jones and Jaquan Williams. Really don't have that leadership in a unit that's already been the weakest link for the Giants so far.
Right.
Looking at the remaining schedules here, here's what I mean with the differences. The Giants have Philly at New Orleans, Green Bay at Dallas, Washington at Jets, and then Dallas again. And then contrast that with the Cowboys at Washington, Miami at Arizona, Giants at Tampa Bay, Philly at New York Giants.
Okay.
So I think the Giants have to beat Dallas twice
to win
the division.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it'll come down to the wire. I know the Cardinals play the Cowboys fairly close each time they play, from what I've recall from the past. So
yeah, it seems like they do. They've even surprised them a couple times with it.
And how about the Cardinals this week beating the Eagles in Philly, huh?
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I shouldn't say we. We Giants fans will take that.
Yeah. Maybe we should check the vital signs of the Eagles, huh? What's up with them? I thought they were the dream team this year.
Yeah, I think one more loss is the death blow for them. The Giants have a chance to deliver it this Sunday.
That's true.
Vic got the $100 million contract.
Again,
his second $100 million contract. Doesn't seem to be living up to it. Hurt again. This time it's the ribs, but then there have been a couple other times this season where he gives you the woe is me, I'm hurt, the refs aren't protecting me, I'm going to miss probably 3 or 4 weeks, and then he just plays the next week.
Right.
Well, we'll see this time.
Well, hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there,
hey, it sure is. They'll have him on a short leash this week. What do you see the rest of the year with the Bills at 5-4? Do they still have a chance for the wild card, or is this the beginning of a sad descent?
I'm going to have to go with the beginning of the end with these guys. Not so much the Bills themselves, but I just think the Patriots are going to get their groove back, and they showed that this last week against the Jets. So I just think the Patriots, they struggled earlier, which kept the Bills in it. But I just think they're going to hover around second or third. If we play the Jets one more week, so we'll see what happens with that. But my optimism is very little now.
They've got at Miami, who is feisty in spite of their record.
Yeah, they won 2 in a row now.
Yep, and then at the Jets. So we're going to find out pretty soon if they still have any chance to make the playoffs. And you can't depend on the wild card because Houston, they've got the South pretty much by default almost.
Yeah, and they're the hottest team in the AFC right now. With they won 4 in a row. So
4 in a row
without Andre Johnson. How about that?
Yeah, and Mario Williams.
And actually, just got latest news today. Schaub is out. Matt Leinart will be starting for the Houston Texans next week.
Wow!
Can you believe that?
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the little ticker there on ESPN. So So they're 7-3 right now. They have 6 games remaining on their schedule, and the combined record for those 6 games, those teams, are 21-34.
Wow.
So 13 games below 500 are the rest of their season. So
Yep, they've got Jacksonville, Carolina, and the Colts included on their remaining schedule.
right. So we could see a possible inflated record in the playoffs. I think it'll be like a Falcons of last year, with the 13-3, possibly 12-4.
Yeah,
And I predict an early exit for them in the playoffs.
because you figure they'll face someone like the Steelers or the
Right.
Ravens who don't have a bye,
Right.
but will come up against them as probably their first game. Right?
Yeah. Now, I
can
mean,
see that happening.
they do have a good running game, so that is a positive. Arian Foster and Ben Tate, who's becoming 1-2 punch. So I know a couple games they have 100 yards each in the game. So
Yeah, you figure they'll come in with at least 10 wins, and in that division, Tennessee 5-4. I don't believe in Tennessee at all. Jacksonville 3-6, and the Colts at 0-10, leading the Andrew Luck sweepstakes.
that's right. I think they're 2 cars ahead of that luck train now. Now that the Dolphins won 2 games. So if
Rams got to win too.
yeah, if the Colts do get the first pick of the NFL draft, if you're Peyton Manning, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Wow. I don't think he can feel disrespected. He knows he's not going to play forever. He's, 36, I think. So many layers to that. If the Colts get it, what are the Colts going to do? What should they do?
I think they should.
What does Luck want? Does
Right.
he want to back up Manning for if Manning can play again for 2 or 3 years? Sit on the bench.
Similar to Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Yep.
learn from the greatest right now. See, come up later.
Now, the difference I see there is Manning seems like he'd be a terrific mentor, even if he'd be slow to embrace the role. Whereas, from everything we heard, Favre was not interested at all in mentoring Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
So whatever Rodgers absorbed from Favre, it had to be just from watching.
Right.
And their styles of play couldn't be more different. So maybe it's good that he didn't absorb the gunslinger, throw it anywhere mentality.
Right. Yeah, so the Packers are playing tonight, Monday night, against the Vikings at home. So
Packers-Vikings going on right now.
yeah, Vikings played them tough a couple weeks ago in Minnesota. So we'll see how the Vikings respond in Packers. What's the score?
17-0 Green Bay, early second quarter.
Okay.
They're already covering that 14-point
I was going to say,
spread.
yeah, I picked Minnesota to cover the spread.
I think I had the Packers.
Did you?
We'll see if they might let up a little and,
Yeah.
backdoor cover by the Vikings. We'll see.
They have the best running back, arguably, in the league with Adrian Peterson. So
Yeah,
they need to get him more talent, I think, surrounded with more talent.
they do. For a while, that seemed like they had one of the best offensive lines in the league. And then suddenly, either I don't know if they got old or just, lost some guys, but now
Right.
they're not considered one of the even top half of the league.
Yeah, you're right.
And that should really be the focus. You've got
seem-
Peterson. You really need a great offensive line.
Plus, they have a couple of superstars on defense. Jared Allen leading the league in sacks, I think, just behind DeMarcus Ware. So
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, so we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll finally get to the NBA lockout, as we mentioned at the top. New news to cover today. You're listening to the Sports Limelight with Bill and Drew. We'll be back.